Hey, honeys. So, a little bit about what's been going on since the last time I talked to you. I did end up getting my table, so I have that now. And I have already had some pretty good interest in my massage services. So, I've had one client so far. I've had the ads up. I've had two ads, and I've had them up for one for a week now and like a few days, 2 or 3 days. The other one only about 2 or 3 days, and both of them I've been getting pretty good interest from. So that's good. That's exciting. And I'm just looking forward to going forward with that, and continuing to see how that works for me. Um, Also, what I've been doing is I've been taking my cards around to places where massage therapy might be relevant to their already existing client base, such as chiropractors, physical therapists, and in my town, like I know I've said this before, but I live in a really small town. My hometown is a tiny like town in the so. With that being said, it's my grandma leaving. Um, she's going to work. But anyway, in my little town, there's only two places that where those that applies, where that makes sense. There's only, and they're both actually physical therapy places. The one that I went to, there was about four places on the list that I compiled, and of the four, only two are still open. So, um, that kind of thing, that's to be expected. That kind of thing happens because the internet is never always accurate as far as like what's the current number, what's the current address of a place or a business. So that's what I've been up to, and that's been going pretty well too. I already have my cards in one of the two places here, which I think is definitely a thumbs up. The other place, they already had somebody, so um, you know, can't step in on their territory, I guess. Um, which is good, right? Because then, like nobody will likely step on my territory over here at the other place where I have my cards. So that's what I've been doing, trying to work with like physical therapists and chiropractors for referrals. Like we can have a referral thing, and definitely like if my cards are in an office, and I have a client who is having problems to an extent that I can't help them as a massage therapist, then I'm definitely going to send them to any studio, any business that has my cards and that is sending me clients. So it'll be a mutual thing. That's always, yeah. I just been Other than that though, I just been kind of staying busy. I'm still doing my experimenting out here in the yard and learning and getting my bearings with gardening, and really learning how to make things come up here, and really learning how to make things thrive here in this climate, in this environment. My cucumbers are doing excellent. I don't have any there. The vines look so healthy and green and like thick, huge leaves and whatnot. So that's definitely a good sign. I don't have any actual cukes yet, but that's just because the vines are they're still pretty young. They haven't even wrapped around my trellises yet, and they grow so fast though. Um, my melons, I don't know. My melons, they are like my vines are really sprawling. I haven't gotten any fruit yet, but that might be normal. I just don't know yet. I know someone, I have a cousin who has some watermelon vines in her yard, and she didn't have any fruit either. She had like one melon on one of her vines. So I'm thinking that, maybe it's just kind of one of those things. I think melons are one of those things that usually come a little bit later in the season, but I can't be sure about that. I know it's one of those things. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that can come later in the season because the ground has to be a certain temperature before you can even plant them. So think I'm right on that. Just waiting for that to happen, and we will continue and see what happens with that. I don't know. I have been experiencing, like, there's not really much in the way as far as like my transition and stuff and being here, because I feel like a lot of people would be curious about that just because this is the South and it is the Bible Belt and I am a trans woman. As far as like transitioning here, there's not really much in the way of trans health services. So I've kind of been on my own as far as that goes. Luckily, I already had my dosaging squared away with my doctor before I left New England. And so when I came here, it was kind of a thing of me just teaching my general care doctor about my dosing and whatnot. And luckily, I ended up with someone who is, willing to try something new, willing to step outside of her comfort zone and learn from me about that. Of course, she has been in contact with my previous doctor, so it's not like all on me to teach her everything, but it has been going, and I have my hormones, and there was no interruption, so that's good. The one thing though, the one caveat is that back where I came from, my hormones were covered by insurance. Here, my hormones are not covered. So I am having to pay, and honestly, like, I'm much less insured here altogether than I was there. So healthcare here kind of sucks. I'll be honest. Healthcare here kind of sucks. And so with that, I have to pay out of pocket for my hormones, and the I can get the estradiols pretty cheaply, but it's the androgen blocker that is kind of more on the steep, expensive side. I did find a coupon that helps me get it for cheaper, and so that's been working out pretty well for me. But I mean, I definitely would rather not have to pay for those. Yeah, so that's as far as like my hormones and that kind of thing with transition. But then also, like, as far as I think, like, as far as me being in South Carolina, and as far as like the way that I'm being treated and I feel about everything seems pretty solid. Like, I haven't gotten any weird, like, nobody's done anything really offensive to me. Of course you hear things like, you overhear things, or you hear things through the grapevine or whatnot. But other than that, like, no, I mean, nobody's been like offensive really to my face. And I know of other trans people here. Like, I have a friend who is a trans woman, and then I also have, I know of someone else, but I don't actually know them. Like, I've never had a conversation with this person. I just know of them. And I'm actually not sure that person is actually trans. That person may just play around and be a gender nonconformist. I don't know that they actually live their life as a trans woman, is what I'm saying. And people seem to just accept. It's a pretty accepting environment. People say things, but that's anywhere. You overhear things and people say things. Yeah. I've had a little bit of no problems with, like, anything out of control, out of the ordinary. And, I would let you guys know if, So, yeah, I guess that's everything. It's kind of all the things that are happening, all what's shaking. I would like to say before I go, though, if you're in my area and you're interested in massage therapy, if you're not, then you should be, because it is a very great way to minimize stress. It's a very good way to actually knock stress out. It's a very good way to help you with muscle pain and even weakness and that kind of thing. So definitely contact me, or go to my website. I will put that down at the bottom. And definitely just go to my website, check that out, get my contact information, and contact me, and we can make an appointment for you and get that squared away. If you're not in my area and interested in my massage therapy services, I am interested in travel. So, you know, there's that. And I have to say, like, I'm really enjoying kind of focusing all my energies on building my own thing and doing my own thing, even though it's tough at first because you have to wait until you have the amount of clients that you want to have, you gotta hustle until you get the amount of clients that you want to have. But I'm definitely, like, I feel gratitude that something prompted me to work completely on that and not to, as opposed to doing what I was doing before, which is just, exhausting myself looking for work through someone else or through another agency. Not that I'm not open to that. I am still open to that, but the focus is building my own practice now. Yeah. And so I think I'm going to close with that and just end it here. I will see you guys soon. Lots of love to you.